What is good, everyone, and welcome back to the Nostalgia Post Ultra podcast. My name is Nostalgia. Joining me is As Told by Zoe. What's good, my guy?
What's up?
Hey, man. Real quick before I'm excited to be back recording again. We took about a week off. Some scheduling stuff had kind of come up with us.
Father's
As
Day.
you can see, Father's Day, exactly, and Zoe's dad's birthday as well. So, as you can see, obviously, we do not have a guest on this episode of the podcast.
Not yet.
We'll be getting her on, I hope, the next one. If not, for the July weekend's coming up, so you never know. But again, we will have her on, and just kind of scheduling things kind of fell through for us. So, but we're still here recording, still trying to get an episode out in general, because me and Zoe both have a lot of stuff we need to get off our chest. This is probably going to be the rant episode part 2. We already had, I think it's part 3, isn't it? Because we've already had a few of them, right?
I remember I rented about Disney, about Star Wars, and that stupid hotel that closed because it was stupid from the jump.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see something. I think I have our episode list up. Give me a second. Our episode titles and stuff, because we had the rant episode and / Bleach slander is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one. Mm-hmm. There was another one, the filler episode, technically a rant one. The Netflix is the evil company. There's that one.
We've ranted a few times.
There's one more. I'm trying to think. Where is it at? Or is it just that one? Huh. I guess it's just that. I guess this is part 3 technically of us ranting. There's a few things we definitely need to get off our chest. I think Zoe, you texted me yesterday or 2 days ago,
yes,
about Final Fantasy 16, and you said you had some kind of a rant for it. So I'm gonna let you have it. The floor is yours, big guy.
All right. I've been waiting for this game since I want to say 2019. I think that's when 2020 is when they announced it. Right after Final Fantasy VII Remake. Finally came out last Thursday. I've been playing it. It's really good. It's different from, I wouldn't say very different, because there's a lot of similarities, but it's different from other Final Fantasies. It's rated M. It's bloody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bloody. They curse a shit ton. It's kind of horny. And they streamlined the JRPG stuff, so it's more like, I would say it's more like God of War, like the new version.
Yeah.
Where instead of completely an open world, it's like big open sections, and then you travel between them through a map.
Okay.
And then hack and slash like Devil May Cry. You get to pull off sick combos and shit like that. I like the game a lot. Oh, and another big thing that makes this different from other Final Fantasy games is the main character isn't a twink. he's like a dude.
Yeah.
He's not a skinny white anime boy.
Oh my god. It's not what's his name, is it? It's not a continuation of the one I played, is it?
No. Brand new.
It's not Noctis? Okay.
No. Right. It's a brand new character, brand new world. And before I get into my rant, interestingly enough, a lot of people have been praising the voice acting, because the Japanese development team, Square Enix, they said, let's develop this game English first. So they wrote the script, then translated it in English, recorded the English lines before anything else.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because, and when I say English, I mean like British English. There's
yeah.
It's not Cloud being like, hey, what's up, dude? It's
Yeah.
The guy who plays Sid in this game is for anyone who's seen it, the father from The Witch. Big guy, he speaks like this.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so voice cast is great. You know what? This is a great segue. This is the first part of my rant about this game. The developers and the producers, this really famous guy, Yoshi P, he saved Final Fantasy XIV from being a terrible MMO. He told people, oh, you should play this game in English. Like, even my Japanese fans play it in English with Japanese subtitles. Oh, sorry, you froze for a second.
Oh yeah, me too. It's fine.
He says, play the game in English with Japanese subtitles. That's how we want you to play it. And Americans who speak English were mad about it.
Oh my!
They were like, because it's the same people who still argue to this day, like, sub over dub.
Jesus Christ, dude.
But bro, it's like, you speak English, you don't speak Japanese.
Literally, what are we talking about?
Like, who cares? Jesus Christ, it's the same people who play God of War in Japanese, and they're like, it's like an anime.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's a video game.
It's a video game. It's literally a video game.
So that's the smallest part. The second part, the main reason I wanted to rant today was the game on Metacritic. I don't follow critics to a T usually, but I do think it is a good not litmus test. It's a good gauge, you know?
Yeah.
There are some games that are like rated a 73 that I like a lot. There's some games that are rated, you know, really high that I don't like. Anything made by FromSoft. Just kidding. I like those games. I just can't play them.
Facts.
So the game on Metacritic has an 88. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
The user score now is a 7.6. Also pretty good. It was at a 5.8. Because there were so many. Here's the thing. I play up a lot of stuff because exaggerating, not on the podcast, exaggerating in real life is fun.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't care about the console wars. I don't give a shit. I know I always tell people, no American consoles in this house. It's Sony and Nintendo. It just so happened that's how I grew up. I don't really care.
Yeah, he says with a PlayStation shirt on right now.
This is a house shirt. This is not a going out shirt. But as I've grown up, as I've grown into the person that I want to be, I like video games, and I want all video games to do well. I don't like when video games do bad.
Yeah.
Unless it's Blizzard. Because I fucking hate that company. But
yeah,
besides that,
facts.
Like Starfield's coming out for Xbox only. It'd be sick if Starfield was great. Like, I would love it to be great, and then I could see clips on it, like on YouTube or TikTok. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I could live my life happy. There are so many people. I think Metacritic, I can't find them anymore because I think Metacritic has been pulling them. But there are so many zeros, so many reviews of people being like, oh, this game sucks. Why can't Microsoft just beat Sony out already? Like, it's like, bro, what are you talking about?
That's your reasoning?
And other people are like, this game sucks because it's a PlayStation exclusive. Why'd they do that? It's like, bro, you haven't played the game. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that is such loser behavior to wake up, turn on your Xbox, get mad that you have an Xbox and then can't play Final Fantasy, go to your computer and then type out, why isn't it on Xbox? Like, bro, be mad at the executives, sure, but like,
right. Dude, people don't know how licensing works.
Like, sorry, bro. Look, I'm a huge fan of Yakuza now. The Yakuza games are timed exclusive to Xbox. You don't see me crying.
Yeah, well, they're only for like 6 months, and then you get the game later.
Yeah.
If anything, it works in your benefit because you can play other games that you want to play that are available to you now.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
I don't get it. It's so weird. But yeah, they've taken them off, but like this one is by Gamer Boy 1991. So this is a man in his 30s. Well, not well into his 30s, but he's in his 30s.
Yes.
And it says, another game boosted by the gaming media. Already off to a bad start.
Yes.
You sound like a conservative.
There's the word woke is coming at some point in time in that sentence.
You know why? Because they are afraid if they don't give a good review to Sony, they won't get review codes, and Sony will not let them get their hands on the games early. This is coming from a dude in the user score section. So he's not a critic. He won't get review codes. So I don't know what he's talking about. And then he lists off 6 points. Listen carefully. Here's a non-biased review from a person not afraid of Sony.
Jesus Christ.
Dog, Sony makes electronics. You don't need to be afraid of them. Number 1, this is not optimized well. Falls below 30 frames per second during battle. Let me offer this as rebuttal. Clean your fucking PlayStation.
No, literally. Like, what are you talking about? Come on.
Clean your PlayStation, or he's on graphics mode. I play on FPS
performance mode.
I play on performance mode, and it's not 60 frames all the time, but it never dips under 30. I never get motion sick. Like on graphics mode, turning makes me sick. On performance mode, it's fine.
Yeah.
Battles are too easy. You only need 2 buttons to kill bosses. Okay. As someone who's playing the game, this person picked the easy mode, and the easy mode gives you 3 rings. Well, it gives you like 6, but you're equipped with the first 3 that are Ring of Timely Focus, that give you like right before you're about to be hit, it gives you like a quick time
dodge. Yeah.
A quick time dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Ring of Timely, I think it's like Ring of Timely Attack. See, I don't even know because I don't use them, but Ring of Timely Attack, which does all the special moves for you without having you to press any button.
What?
And then there's there's another ring that does the magic for you too. So it's literally easy mode. It's just easy mode.
Who wants to play like that in the first place?
Exactly my point. But here's the thing. Even if you do pick easy mode, you can take those off.
So what is he?
This person doesn't read. He hasn't checked his fucking equipment. He hasn't put on the badge of might that gives you +7 attack, or one of the other badges that helps out your magic. He doesn't read.
That's so dumb.
So already, the first 2 points, I've debunked you.
100%.
3, the story is messy and weird. Here's my biggest thing, and maybe a lot of people won't agree with this, but this is a Square Enix game. And that's all I have to say. All their stories are weird.
There might be like new players coming into this game. Like, you know, you see all the hype surrounding Final Fantasy 16 and you want to see what it's about. Cool, whatever, fine. I just think, you know, if the story is not for you, then just don't play the game. Or just give it back something. But like, for those that have stuck around with Square Enix games, and even though I haven't played too many of them, I still come in with the understanding that most games in that kind of realm are gonna have weird stories. It's just kind of what it is.
And not to mention, like, where I'm at right now, I'm understanding the story pretty well. Oh, not to mention, during most cutscenes, if you hold the the touchpad of the PS5, there's
Yeah.
active time lore. So if you're lost, it'll show you like 3 to 5 points of relevancy, and you can read about what's going on.
That's actually really smart.
It's awesome. It's really fucking cool, because that's how I learned all the fucking kingdoms' names. It's really fucking cool. So again, you kind of got to know what you're getting yourself into. Bro, the first Final Fantasy from the 80s, the one that's all just pixels.
Yeah.
Bro, that one's about time travel. And you're telling me this one is messy?
Yeah, come on.
This series started messy.
Exactly. Like, you got to know what you're getting into.
This one does not make sense. Point number 4, rated M for clout. Nothing mature about this game. What does rated M for clout mean?
I thought for sure it's going to be rated M for woke. I really wanted to hear that. Really wanted to hear it.
What does rated M for clout mean?
Does he elaborate at all in that later point?
No.
Read it again.
He just says rated M for clout. Nothing mature about this game.
I guess more so just like to say I guess he's saying, which is still not a good justification for it. I guess he's saying, oh, they decided to make it rated M just to give it that extra like flair so more people would want to buy it, I guess.
Maybe, but the thing is, bro, the game has blood in it. It's going to be rated M like either way. To me, this screams it's not like God of War, which is a little more gory. Like, this game has like blood when you hit people, and whenever the icon battles are going on, there's like big pools of blood because they're kaiju basically.
Yeah.
And some scenes with like some sexual advances. But you know, you'll see the back of a girl with her shirt off, but you won't see a titty, which is not what old God of War was, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just they wanted to go for a more realistic, well, scratch that, more grounded, because oh yeah, the chocobos aren't cartoony, the Moogles aren't cartoony. It's a little bit more like of a realistic art style. I just feel like they had a vibe and they went with it.
And yeah, I mean, I guess if he's trying to compare M-rated game to M-rated game, then okay, fine, I get that. But if you're rating it M, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not because we want more people to be. If anything, rating it M would deter a whole other percentage of your fan base or consumer base. Low key.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because you're trying to you're trying to go after the younger-ish audience.
Yes. Get away from the window? Wait, hello? What just happened? What happened?
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Okay. I thought that was just thunder. Who's shooting in the middle of a thunderstorm?
You got ops to catch in the thunderstorm? That's insane. What was I about to say? Oh yeah. So yeah, because a large percentage of your fan base or consumer base potentially would be teenagers in that realm. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, so you would probably want them to buy the game as well. Rating it M would potentially. I'm not, obviously, like when I was 15, I was still buying M-rated games.
Yeah, but everyone's different.
Everyone's different. You know what I'm saying? So you could potentially kind of knock off some of your percentage of your consumer base if you make it M. I feel like they did that for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe. But you know, I think this one is very much more a personal thing.
Yeah.
And there's 2 more points. Point 5 is the only good thing is that the main character looks good. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, yeah, he has a cool design Clive, but so does Sid and so does Jill. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't know, bro.
And then point 6 is the side characters are meh, which is totally wrong, because this Sid might be one of the best Sids in all of Final Fantasy.
Really?
He is so fucking cool. He's the first ally you meet, kind of. And he's just like this. I'm not gonna spoil much, but like he like runs this hideaway for like the. Oh, there's another thing I want to talk to you about.
Oh god!
But he runs this hideaway for people to hide, and he's cool as fuck, and he's played by the Green Knight, and he's just so fucking cool. He's awesome. He has electric powers. He's sick. I love him.
Yeah.
Jill is cool as fuck too. Childhood friend of Clive, who gets kidnapped by the Iron Kingdom, and she's forced to fight. She's the dominant of ice. She's Shiva. Like it's her story is really fucking cool. Again, I don't know what this guy's insane.
But did he even play the game? Wait, so is he reviewing it from the perspective of somebody that did not get the chance to play the game because he's an Xbox fan?
I don't know, dude. He reviewed this the day after it came out, so you can't make a what's the word I'm looking for?
A proper assessment.
You can't make an assessment of a video game after one day.
Yeah.
It's also, the story is messy and weird. How much of the story have you played?
Because it's not like it's a 6-hour game.
This is not a critic review. This is a user score review. So he did not get a review code for this. He did not play this early.
Yeah.
So like, again, this guy's weird. I think the rest of the bad reviews, they make more sense. It's like, other people are saying like, oh, I've played Final Fantasy my whole life. This one's very different. It's like everyone has personal stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just this one who he's like, I'm not scared of Sony. It's like, dog, who are you lying to?
Oh my god, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's an 88 game, bro. It's fucking good. It's not perfect, but it's good. I do think it's a Game of the Year contender. I don't know if it's gonna win, but I do think it's a contender.
Yeah, I mean, before we start recording, you know, you were getting on to me because of the fact that I don't have a PS5 yet, but that is a game that I definitely want to play. It is not one that I will get on my PlayStation 4 because I do not want to start a fire in my apartment complex.
Bro, I had to move. I had to delete a game and move 3 games to my external hard drive. Because
why is it that big? Oh my God.
It is 100 gigabytes.
Holy shit.
It's insane.
Oh man.
But to point out again, the side characters are meh. Not to like harp on his review more, but this is something that we've talked about before in other video games, specifically Atlas. When Atlas has a lot of homosexual characters in their games, but they don't really handle them well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Sid is gay, and it's not a point of like, whoa,
this character's gay.
He's just gay, and everyone goes about their day
as it should be.
Yeah, and he's badass. He's not like, you know, played off as a joke. He is the guy who finds Clive. He finds Jill. He's the guy who runs the hideaway. He's the guy who gets shit done. Like, he's just a normal guy
who happens to be gay.
And it's not like, and it's not even like he points it out to you like obviously. There's like a scene where Clive is naked in the jail, and then he comes and he gives you your clothes, and he says a comment like, even though you're handsome, you're not my type, and he leaves. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. Yeah. It's just like that happens, and then you just kind of go about your day. Like, nothing else really.
Yes.
Not much else to say.
It's not like you zoom in on Clive and he's like, oh, like he's just, no one cares, and everything's normal.
As it should be, man. That's yeah. I can see. From that first like few sentences, I could have sworn I was just waiting for
Same.
him to drop the W word.
Same. You know what's crazy though? It's a Japanese game, so there's not a lot of skin representation, as at least where I'm at.
Yeah.
But if there was, I feel like a lot more people would have dropped the W word.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And also, I don't know if this is about the same thing, but so again, Tro Valentine, I follow her. Literally, she posted a tweet. I think she's playing Final Fantasy 16, and she was like, "There's no way I can see why black people aren't in this, or dark skinned people aren't in this game, because they talk about branded and servants and other stuff like that. People would look at the game real funny."
I was just about to tell you, one of your takes, I'm almost positive you said this on the podcast, one of your takes was a good story always has racism in it.
Dude, I don't know what it is. Yes, a good, like a story that for some reason people love and adore, for some dumb reason always has either racism or slavery in it. I don't understand.
This has both.
This is so,
it's insane because it's crazy to me. The biggest story like point of this game is, if you're born with the power to use magic without crystals, you get branded and then you become a slave. But, you know, to make the main characters look better, you know, Clive's dad was never, mean to his branded. He let them live. He was the nice master. Of course. And then
Jesus Christ.
And the whole point of Sid's hideaway is to, get branded people, and basically it's like he's Underground Railroad. Yes,
Sid is Harriet Tubman. Okay.
Yes. he lets them live, and it's very interesting because a lot of them have like a scar to get their brand off.
Fuck.
I'm like, shit, this is cool. But I guess they make it really, the way that they tell the story, they make the bad guys sound really dumb, and I think it's on purpose, because if you can use magic, you're branded, but if you're royalty, you are blessed by the insert icon here.
Yeah, what?
So it's so they don't get branded, and I'm almost positive it's to show you like, oh, the nobility are just a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, I guess like the rules, punishment for thee, but not for me, essentially.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And that's why, something happens it's in the demo, so it's not really spoiling anything. Something happens to Clive in the beginning of the game, where his brother, his dad, the first commander, who's like basically his uncle, and a bunch of the fucking army all die except for Clive. And then you kind of find out the reason this whole thing happened was because Clive's mom, the queen, was working with the Holy Empire of Sanbreque, which is another empire.
Yeah.
So she's a bitch and a
Oh
half.
god.
She always hated Clive because Clive wasn't the Phoenix icon. That was his little brother.
Yeah.
So she keeps him, sends him off to the army of Sanbreque, and that's when he gets branded. So he wasn't branded as a child because he was royalty, but now that he's not, he gets branded.
That makes sense.
So again, I think they do that on purpose of like, wow, so the nobility are just all pieces of shit.
Yeah, and I don't know why this has become a thing, and it's really just super crazy. I gotta look back and find when I said that. I cannot remember where I said that at, where almost every story that is good or that we've liked so far, there's exceptions to this rule.
Yeah.
In fiction, 100%. But for some reason, a lot of the best stories have racism, and I don't understand why they can't just not have it in there.
Is it to make an easy bad guy?
It has to be. It has to be. Like you think about, just think about in general, some of the like best like anime in general, right? That's been out. I know you have your reservations about it, but obviously Naruto technically has racism with the fact that Tobirama as a Hokage essentially exiled the Uchiha clan and turned them into the police force. Technically racism. You have
pirates.
The Arlong Pirates in One Piece. You have Full Metal Alchemist. You have, what are the names of those people? And I forgot their names. The names of the Scars people.
Oh, I forgot, but yes, his kind.
Literally the entire premise or like underlying B plot of Full Metal Alchemist has to do with the military industrial complex and the issues of war and racism and you know what I'm saying, and like stuff like that, like issues with war and conquest and imperialism. It has racism in it.
Oh my god, you know what just hit me?
What?
You know how movies where like a neo-Nazi gets with a black girl, you know how those are super annoying?
Yes.
The devil is a part-timer is kind of the same thing.
Oh my god.
A devil hooks up with a holy angel.
Oh my.
And they're fighting because they hate each other. They're kind of racist.
Yeah, 100%. Attack on Titan is literally an allegory for World War II.
Oh yeah, that's the easiest one.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You don't have to have it in your story, but people continue to do it, and I don't understand why.
BioShock Infinite is just actual historical slavery.
Yeah, though they like show not show it per se, but they have someone getting, I'm not gonna say the word on here, but they have somebody getting hate crimed in the game.
It is an optional thing where, wow, now that I'm remembering it, they get really racist. But again, it's for easy bad guy. They bring out a what's it called? An interracial couple, and they're tied up to a like post. And the craziest part is this game is 10 years old, so I was 15 when that game came out. Holy shit.
I know.
Yeah, as a 14, 15-year-old, I kind of didn't pay no mind, but as they're brought out, there is cutouts of monkeys.
It's literally like it's actually some
and
really unhinged shit.
They give you a baseball, and you can choose to throw it at them to blend in, or to throw it at the guy running the show. And if you choose to throw it at the guy running the show, later on that couple meets up with you and then they give you something. If you choose to throw it at them, they obviously are scared of you, and then you know BioShock, you're the bad guy, and yeah,
it makes sense. It's just
it's just kind of crazy how far, like, I get you're trying to it's trying to be shocking in this sense of like, wow, these people are fucked up, but monkeys.
Literally, come on.
Maybe you could have toned it down a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to go back and like play that game just to see the whole setup, because obviously it's not Rapture. I forgot the name of the place that you're in Infinite.
Oh man, yeah. So did I.
It's essentially basically the cult of the founding fathers, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? It's like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and somebody else are like the rulers or the creators of the world, or some kind of godlike entity.
It's literally called Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia. Okay. So when you have something like that, I can see what the intent was, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the forefathers were all slave owners, 100%. And in that time period, that was something that was going on. It's just probably something they could have executed a little bit better.
Yeah, because I it's only that scene that gets that crazy.
And it never comes up ever again.
No.
What is it? It's an optional thing. Or no. It's part of the main storyline.
You have to do it, but the option is to throw it at them or the guy.
Yeah, it's not like it's an optional mission. Like that's something that you see early in the game.
Even as a 15-year-old, I threw it at the guy. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? But yeah, it's so fucked, so fucked. And then, but yeah, Final Fantasy 16. Just going back to that, when I get a PS5, we'll play the game, 100%. I think that we talked about Final Fantasy so many times on this podcast, and my thought process about the games in general is always the same, and I enjoyed Final Fantasy 14. Random though, now that 16's come out, people are kind of changing their stance on Final Fantasy 14, which I don't understand why.
You 15?
Oh, 15, my bad. Yeah, 15.
Yes, that happens all the time with everything. But
it's like, okay, the main gripe of the game, right, that I have, that, me playing it, finishing it, whatever, the combat could have been better.
Yeah.
But it was something that they had just started doing.
Yes.
Like, this was the first Final Fantasy game that they had ever created with this kind of combat system where you are freely moving around. Like, it's not really turn-based.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's not going to be as polished as the Final Fantasy VII remake or this one.
Mm-hmm.
And even still, like, the story was fine, although you had to get a lot of context from very shitty Final Fantasy animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of that, though, the story wasn't bad.
Honestly, some of the best character writing, because the story is fine, but genuinely the friendship between the four dudes is heart-wrenching. It's great.
No, literally, and I genuinely enjoyed that entire story. Like, just even doing when I played it through the third time, because for some reason I started it one game, then I'm just like, I want to restart, and then I did the same thing again. When I played it for the third time, right, I made it a point to myself that anytime one of those random like buddy side missions popped up, I would always do them. Because I genuinely enjoyed hanging out and like experiencing the relationship that Noctis had with Gladio, Prompto, and oh my god, what's his name?
Ignis.
And obviously I liked other characters more than others. Like my least favorite character for Final Fantasy 15 was probably Prompto, and it's not because of who he is as a character, it's because he's the equivalent of Daffy in Kingdom Hearts. No matter what you do for him, he's dying first. No, Donald, my fault. Donald.
Daffy.
It's my fault. Yeah, you know what I meant. Donald in Kingdom Hearts. No matter what, he's dying first.
Yes, he is.
So that was literally it. Other than that, I enjoyed him as a character. Why did I say Daffy? That was so weird.
dude,
I don't know.
Revisionist history is always going to be a thing because fucking Final Fantasy 13, the one with lightning,
Yeah.
when that came out, it was hated. It was very much it was the same combat as Final Fantasy 12, which is like it's I haven't played those games, but I have seen it. It is a lot different than the original turn-based games.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, it's a hallway simulator, it's not open world, there's no map, there's no this, there's no that. And as the years go by, I see a bunch of people just tweet out like, you guys owe Final Fantasy 13 an apology, it's actually really good, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And it's like bro, I'm not knocking liking something that people don't like, because like, again, everyone's different. And I haven't played those games. Final Fantasy 13 is on my wish list. I'll play it eventually when I feel like it. But like, again, revisionist history. It's always gonna be like, wow, this thing sucks now, and then when the new thing comes out, actually, this thing was pretty good, because people can't differentiate that like having this thing for so long doesn't mean it's like people don't like change. That's what I've noticed.
100%.
The cultural zeitgeist, they don't like change. They always say, I want something new, but then go crazy when they remake Star Wars for the 5th time.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a new game, and then Nintendo drops a $70 remake of a GameCube game, and then they still buy it. Which, hey, Metroid Prime is probably fire.
Yeah.
But it's also like Metroid Prime 4 has been announced for like 7 years and hasn't come out yet.
Right.
But when Metroid Prime 4 does come out, people are going to be like, this isn't like the old one. Then why did you ask for it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess the discourse around it is like, oh, now that 16's out, we're finally able to talk about how bad this game was. And it's like, wait, hold on. Like, I know it wasn't the most highly reviewed game, but most people that I saw and know that played it enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
And again, I think the combat in the game could have been way better, but you also have to think it's the first time they tried this out.
Yeah.
So while it did get annoying a lot of times, you just run up to an enemy and hold circle, and then when you see the prompt on the screen to hold square, you hold square so you can parry. Like that was kind of boring at times, especially when you're fighting certain monsters. But being able to use Noctis in a way to warp strike while also mixing in combos, mixing in supports from the other 3 members in your party, it had some really cool moments.
It did.
So I don't know, it was weird, super weird.
That's my whole
that's your thing.
Final Fantasy rant, and I better not hear it when Persona 3 and Re-Fantasy comes out. So my rants are not necessarily video game related, but I mean, it's applicable to a lot of different stuff. It has a specific point, and I have one thing that it's basically like one rant with 2 points in it, and then one that I don't know if we're going to get to it in time. If we don't, it's not a huge deal. I want to talk about Spider-Verse, okay? For one second. I want to talk about Spider-Verse. I think it's good. People are still talking about it online, so...
Yeah, I want to talk about Spider-Verse. Specifically, headcanons in Spider-Verse.
Oh...
I want to talk about...
I have no idea where this is going, but I don't like it already.
Not even just headcanons, but analysis and headcanons in Spider-Verse. And in order to help my point, there is something that I read recently that's on my like manga that I've read in 2023 list that is definitely applicable. The subject matter and the topic is applicable to what I'm about to talk about. And what is it? Who wrote it? It's who wrote it? Hold on. I think it's Fujimoto, the writer of Chainsaw Man. I could be wrong about that though. Hold on. Who wrote it? Yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto wrote the story. It's called Just Listen to the Song. Okay? It's a one shot. It's only like 15 pages. And essentially what it is this guy has a crush on this girl in high school, and he writes and sings her a song and uploads it to YouTube. Okay? So he gets, the song's bad. He gets, ridiculed and bullied for it, and the song's bad. The crush rejects him or whatever. However, for some weird reason, like a ghost appears in the background in a window, right?
Okay.
So the story, the video blows up because people see the ghost, and now people are trying to make commentary on like the political state of the world. How when you play the song backwards, it's like some satanic incantation.
Like Pink Floyd shit.
If you look through some of the words that he's saying, it means X, Y, and Z. Like there's just very much like in depth going so far with this song, when in actuality it's just a song that he wrote badly to profess his love for his crush. You see what I'm saying? And by the end of it, he tries to make another video or another song hoping for the same thing, and it doesn't work. Like he gets no views because people were thinking he was going to drop something crazy, and nothing happened in the video. So now they have nothing to really go off of, because at its core, it's just a song.
That sounds really funny.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, so applying that to Spider-Verse, right? You get the artists that come out and say, oh, this is what's going on. This is what we tried to do for X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying it's bad to create, theories about what you think might happen in the next movie, because obviously that's a part one. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or, making speculation about what certain items of clothing certain characters have on, or certain things that are part of their character, because of the fact that, most of the stuff that the characters have and that they wear and what they say is intentional, right? Mm-hmm. Most of what they say and what they do, what they wear is intentional, especially for a movie like this, where it has a lot of imagery and talking about stuff. My problem, though, is when people try to take theories and headcanon and swear up and down that it's supposed to be canon. And it's like, we need to pump the brakes for a second. Specifically, I'm talking about two different things. One of them being that Miles O'Hara is racist. And the second thing is that Gwen Stacy is trans. We mentioned it very briefly on one of the other episodes. I think, which one was it? I can't remember.
That Miles is racist or Miguel?
No, Miguel O'Hara is racist.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's weird already. Okay,
so it's two things. Miguel O'Hara is racist, and Gwen Stacy is trans. Okay, for the first one, where in any point of the movie did so I was, just for background on this, I was looking through like TikTok, and for some reason, like, the Spider-Verse has been my entire For You page anymore. Like, I don't even get anime stuff on my For You page anymore.
Sure.
It's all Spider-Verse stuff. And this girl was talking about how Miguel was being racist, and how he's talking down to the only, mixed race black and a traditional Hispanic man talking a certain type of way to a black teenager, and how he got his white coworker / counterparts to gang up on Miles, and the verbiage he was using for it could come off as racist. Did we watch the same movie?
Jessica Drew is black. Spider-Bite is black.
Hobie Brown
is black. Like, what are we talking about?
Literally the only issue.
Pav is Indian.
Yeah, but like, I don't understand why people are making this point, because the reason, and they always bring up that phrase like, oh, you don't belong here, you're not supposed to be here, right? Which, okay, in certain context, could be used as some kind of as a racist coded phrase.
Sure.
1000%, right? I am no stranger to hearing that phrase.
Sure.
Let's be honest right now. I'm no stranger to hearing that phrase. The problem is, if you watch the movie, you understand that he's not talking it from a perspective of, oh yeah, Miles is a black teenager, so he doesn't belong here in the Spider-Verse society. It's because Spider of Earth 42 was not supposed to bite him.
Yeah. It's been set up since the first movie. Like, that's what it is.
Exactly. Like, who do people not watch Miguel's intro where he talks about how do you look at a man who's represents themes of loss, grief, hubris, and and regret, right? How do you look at a man that represents all four of those character traits? You see his interaction with Miles and how much of a stickler he is for the rules and keeping order, and instead go, yeah, he's a bit of a stickler, he's a dickhead, but I can see what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And go, nah, he's racist.
Bro, media literacy is dead.
The problem is when people for both the Miguel O'Hara and the Gwen Stacy thing, which I'll get in a second, for both of those things, people are like, oh, your media literacy is just dead if you don't see it. That phrase now is gone to the point where I don't even like to use it anymore, because it's a misused phrase now.
Here's the thing, and I think okay, I like the movie Parasite a lot. Obviously, Parasite has a lot to do with the state of capitalism in Korea, and the way the rich interact with the poor and stuff like that. There are some people who like to watch movies just for stories. They kind of treat movies as escapism, so they don't really see that Parasite has a lot to do with real world stuff, and I think that's fine, honestly. Just because a movie has themes grounded in reality doesn't mean you have to like think about that shit. But the problem is, Parasite was such a good movie that everyone thinks all movies have to be like that now, when that's not the point of movies.
Yeah, exactly.
These people who made Spider-Verse had a story, and yeah, they had like a little meaning in the first one that like anyone can wear the mask. But that's as deep as those like quote unquote meanings go.
Yeah, and it's a character-driven story that is, at the end of the day, and even in both, well, for Across the Spider-Verse is a little bit different, but for Into the Spider-Verse, at the end of the day, the movie is about Miles.
Yes.
The movie is about Miles. In Across the Spider-Verse, the movie is about Gwen and Miles together. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, I mean, there's other themes and other motifs and other metaphors that are intertwined in it. But at the end of the day, the movie is about Gwen and Miles, right? But there's just like, okay, the issues I have is just like, what are we trying to do here? Because even in the other point I'm gonna get to in a second, and I'm gonna come back to the same point, I'm gonna reiterate the same point. It doesn't help those that accurately point out stuff like that when you do stuff like this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like this weird thing of like that. The main point is honestly that person needs to relax. Yes, we live in a world where racism is still prevalent, and that sucks, and my cat is coming out from under my bed. But not everything is like has to be about that. Like, you can turn your brain off for 2.5 hours to watch fictional spider people fight.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know, man. And then, okay, so moving to the other thing, and we've mentioned this before, but it was the mention that people are swearing up and down that Gwen Stacy is trans, right?
She has a protect trans kid flag,
and then there's just, I guess, like the story or her story arc or whatever. People are saying that represents that.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this, okay? And I, again, and me and you are both firmly standing on the fact that if it's a situation where Gwen is trans, right? Bravo, 100% support. If it is, it is. And we don't have anything else to say besides that. We support it if it is.
Mm-hmm.
However, though, it has to be something that is either stated or maybe even somewhat slightly implied. Like like Sid from Final Fantasy 16, right?
Yeah.
The shit about where he just like hands him the clothes and goes, "Oh, you're cute, but you're not my type," and walks off, right? If there was some kind of indication that where it was something was said like that Gwen had said or somebody said to her, then 100%, 100% support. You know what I'm saying? Even so, also what I think doesn't make sense, or not doesn't make sense, but would not have worked if it was the case, right? If you were going to make Gwen Stacy trans, you would have had to have mentioned some bit of it in the first movie.
Yeah, of course. Like that would have been a big story arc for bro. How many times has she introduced herself? Like in her introduction, it's like, "Oh, I was dead name, and now I'm Gwen." Like that would have made more sense. And
that would make more sense.
That if that happened, cool, but it didn't.
Exactly, and I think that you really gotta, so like just from a character writing standpoint, not even from a societal diversity and inclusion and representation standpoint, from a character writing standpoint, making her trans in the second movie and not making any mention of it in the first movie is bad character writing. And
then that just comes off as
shallow and forced.
Like looking for brownie points.
Yeah.
And it just comes off as, and I have seen people online say like, "Oh, look at the way the colorway of her suit." But like that's been her colorway since she was created in the comics.
In the comics, man.
Yeah.
That has always been her suit.
It's always been like, white, black, pink with blue shoes. Always.
Right. And then when you think about the way color is used in Across the Spider-Verse and Into Spider-Verse, Miles' colors, it's usually like a black or like a red or a blue with certain hues and tones in that, or a mix of a bunch of colors because he's an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Gwen, it's usually you're gonna see colors of like a blondish color. You're gonna see pink and white because those are the colors that she uses as her representation for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
or her spider persona, right?
Yeah.
And it's just one of the things that I think was, so when it comes to theories and headcanons and canon and stuff, right? You saying to me, hey Taylor, there's a cool theory going around that Hobie Brown has blue laces, and blue laces in punk culture means that you killed a cop. So would it be crazy if his canon event is that he had to kill someone close to him that was a cop, so now he wears the blue laces? That's a theory, right? And obviously Hobie wears blue laces in the movie, but it's not something that is explicitly said, and it doesn't go past that part, right?
Yeah.
On the Gwen State, go ahead.
People are saying, would it be crazy? They're not swearing by it. They're saying like, wouldn't it be like? It's just coming up as like, oh, that would be cool. Like if that happened.
Yeah, and it relates to the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then going back to the Gwen Stacy thing, a theory that, you know, doesn't really hold, you know, too much weight because they weren't on screen for very long, but, you know, whatever, it's a theory, right? They were saying that Gwen Stacy's Peter was trans, and that's a theory that's been going around. But again,
okay,
it's a theory, and it's not something that was, like, I know one of the biggest things, obviously, because we know in the movie, it's been a while, so if you haven't seen it, whatever, he turns into the lizard in her universe, right? And people point out that when they were doing that like zoom in on Gwen where like they're all changing outfits and hairstyles.
Yeah.
In the beginning, at one point he has a lizard suit on.
Yeah.
So like people are saying, okay, well, we already knew from that clip, that little quick frame screenshot, we already knew that he was going to turn into the lizard, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. But even that theory about the Peter in her universe being trans doesn't make sense either, or doesn't hold that much weight either, because it's not something that was kind of stated or said or anything mentioning when Gwen and her dad have a conversation about Peter. That's not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because this is a different situation than Sid, because like with the Sid thing, it's like, oh, they're acting normal about it, right? But this is a person who, you know, died. So you would think Gwen would say something about trans deaths and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It's just not, like you said, it's bad character writing if that's the case.
Yeah, because then you could just argue that, oh yeah, Peter was being bullied by Flash Thompson and turned into the lizard to kill him.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a conversation on bullying schools instead of that conversation. Yeah. Which is a valid conversation to have in society. It's not like it's you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a conversation we need to talk about.
Yes.
But if the conversation presents itself.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
And then it also gets like that's the heaviest part of this, but then it also gets into this weird state of like kind of like My Hero, where you know Deku likes Ochako and Ochako likes Deku, and that's the point of the show. But a lot of people headcanon Deku with the guys and then get angry when he's paired with Ochako. And it's weird because it's like, okay, you're just, this is a kid.
Yeah, like, first off, it's a child.
They're children, and Gwen Stacy is 15. So it's almost like this weird, and I feel like if someone tells these people like you're being a My Hero fan, they would kind of rethink themselves. Because it is like, yes, I get it. The whole protect trans kids. Like, yeah, agree. Maybe, and I guess that's where they're coming from with, yeah, Gwen is a trans kid, but it's like you're contemplating the sexuality of a child. You're contemplating their deep inner psyche with the whole, like, it just comes off as odd.
Yeah, like that's something that's a decision that they themselves have to make if they were a real person, not a fictional character.
Yeah, I mean, I know this tweet was being like facetious and trying to be funny, but like it makes sense. It was a tweet that said, someone said something about Gwen being trans, and then the quote tweet was like, actually, this is a cartoon and you will never see their genitals ever, so who cares? Which is like kind of true.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even want to get into like just for overall. I don't want to get into a situation where it becomes more of a conversation about diversity inclusion. I'm saying from a character writing perspective.
Yeah.
From a character writing perspective, because that would be something that you would have to make an entire movie about the self-identity of Gwen Stacy. When in actuality, the movie Across the Spider-Verse is about Miles Morales.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a character study on Miles. And it's a character study on the different types of people that could potentially wear the Spider-Man mask, right? So with that heavy of a topic, and I know it shouldn't be, but with that heavy of a topic that you would ended up deciding to tackle if they did do it, right? They would have had to say something in the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just randomly throwing it.
The whole anyone can wear the mask thing.
Yeah. Also, there's a non-binary spider persona that shows up in the movie. Ooh, Sun Spider, the one in the wheelchair.
Oh, I did not know they were non-binary either.
Yes.
Oh shit.
But they only show up for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, they say the one quip.
Yeah, they only show up for like 10 seconds. But even still though, right? And that character had a comic book run, a short one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like other people would be like, oh, you're kind of, they're feeding us crumbs here. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Mm.
But I think going up for a character like that could also be something that could catapult something into something bigger. It just be, I don't know. That would just have to be something you had to talk about in the first movie. You can't just put that in the second one.
You know what's the worst part about conversations like this?
What's up?
It's that there's so many people online. You don't know who's crazy and who's not. But for the most part, I do think that people who are saying this idea of Gwen Stacy being trans are for the most part, they mean no harm, right?
Yeah.
But then you get people who don't agree with them, who just are hateful and are bigoted. Yeah. And then it's to the point where it's like, I don't agree with what they're saying, but I don't want to be associated with that guy who just called that person a slur.
No, literally. It's like you try to have a more like level-headed take on the situation,
and then the loud one, and then you end up looking spews the F slur, and it's like, whoa, yeah, hold on.
I was like, okay, buddy, all right, yeah. It's like I was with you, and then now I'm not. Oh, bro, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just think there's, other, trans representation characters out there that are really cool that you could probably go follow. Like the Guilty Gear series has like 2 or 3 of them.
Bridget. Everyone loves Bridget.
So, Bridget, and then there's another. Yeah, there's Bridget. There's another character too. The guitar wielding vampire person.
Eno's trans? She's my favorite too.
Now I gotta look this up. Hold on.
It's I-N-O. I know how to spell it because she's my favorite.
I thought there was somebody else. This is just Bridget.
Oh, dude, Poison from Street Fighter.
Yeah,
she's trans.
Testament. That's his name. Testament.
Ooh, who's that? From Guilty Gear?
It's a Testament. Guilty Gear Strive.
Testament.
Testament's not. Testament's androgynous.
Guilty Gear. Oh. are they a new character?
I think so.
I have not. Whoa, that's a big scythe.
It was a scythe, not a guitar, but even still, they're androgynous. So,
but see, that's another shit show, because everyone loves Bridget, and then the random fucking douchebags are like, oh, so grooming's okay? It's like, bro, it's a video game.
No, like, that's a whole other conversation that this podcast does not need to go to.
No. It's
we're trying to have fun.
We're ranting, and that pissed me off. So
yeah, we're trying to have fun, talk about nerd shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it's like a more of a heavier topic to kind of finish up with, but I just think that the last thing I'm a mini rant, nothing crazy, is shipping in anime has been getting a little bit not weird. I'm not gonna say weird. I'm gonna say y'all need to calm the hell down when it comes to shipping anime characters, because there was a conversation.
Keep talking. No. I need to let my cat out.
Oh my god. I'll give you a second. Okay, there's a conversation basically where they were talking about ships in Bleach, and basically people were saying that they didn't really like the Orihime and Ichigo ship because it felt very one-sided, and them getting together didn't make any sense, right? Now, somebody that's a mutual of mine said, I've always thought it was going to be Ukiura and Orihime because they had a lot of chemistry. Now, me personally, I'm not super invested in ships, but I understand character dynamics. I don't agree with that ship at all. Just 100%.
Okay.
But the way in which people were responding to this person and her preferred ship was actually insane.
Oh, they were getting mad about it?
Like, for what? They're fictional characters.
They calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
Like, bro. Okay, like, I'm talking people getting super upset. Like, okay, just to preface the types of the message she was getting, it was like people getting mad because, for context, in Bleach, and it's gonna take you a while to catch up, so it's not a big deal that I spoil it for you.
No, yeah.
Orihime so Aizen goes to Hekomundo and recruits the Espada and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole long thing. Basically, Ukiura is one of the stronger Espada in the group, and he's tasked with keeping tabs on Orihime. So when they capture her, like, she's held prisoner there for a while because she has a special ability that she can use that kind of would aid Ichigo in the fight, but also something that Aizen wants to use for his own gain, right? Ukiura is basically oh my god, he's basically not human. I'm just gonna say that he's not human. He's a hollow. He's a hollow that was given Soul Reaper abilities. Essentially, he has no heart. He is heartless. He doesn't understand humanity. Okay,
heartless.
Yeah, exactly right. The dynamic between Orihime and Ukiura is essentially just Ukiura learning human nature and understanding what heart is.
Okay,
if that makes sense. The problem, though, when it comes to like romantically shipping these two characters, is that it gets to a point where it's somewhat borderline domestic violence abusive. Because not only is he like super cold and distant to her because he's a villain, but he also threatens to kill her a couple times. So you see, but again, it's because he's a villain. He doesn't understand human nature and heart. So when eventually, at the point where he ends up dying, his last words when he sees Orihime, because he spent a lot of time with her during that entire arc, right? And like kind of learning, her feelings towards Ichigo and what, human spirit is and how people care for one another, all that stuff. His last phrase was something like, "Now I know what a heart is," or something like that. Essentially, right?
Okay.
Understanding that he finally understands what emotions and feelings are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her and my mutual's basis for the ship was, I think if he had been alive, they could, she could teach him how to care and how to love for others, and he could develop a heart and it could turn into something romantic. I just think that, and she's like, oh, well, no, he was under Aizen's orders to keep tabs on her and to kill her if she stepped out of line. I understand that. But it's like, it just didn't, their dynamic is more of him learning human nature and not him learning how to love somebody. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So people were coming in the comments talking to her crazy. And then when she returns the favor in kind, like, you're not about to talk to me that kind of way.
Yeah.
They respond with, oh, I'm like, what? I'm just responding to my trauma. Bitch.
What?
It's like that ship like triggered something in my past experiences, and like I shouldn't be. Basically, they were trying to like feign responsibility for replying a certain type of way to my mutual because they've experienced abuse in their own daily lives that Orihime and Ukiyo's ship reminded them of that. So they feigned responsibility for talking disrespectfully to that person.
Yeah.
And it's like, please go outside.
Yeah. Like, sorry that happened, but I am not, you don't know me.
We don't know each other. How was I supposed to know that was something that happened to you and that's why you don't like the ship? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the thing with the internet is that you could talk to any person at any point in time, no matter what, from all sections of everywhere. That's a good thing, but it's also a very bad thing because then you end up running into stuff like this.
There are people way too comfortable online, man.
It's nuts. About a ship. About a romantic ship between two fictional characters.
Between two drawings.
Right? Now,
like,
the fuck. Oh, and even with me, like when I posted that video with the Angel Devil and Aki. And people were in my comments mad about that.
They were saying like, oh, didn't someone call you homophobic?
No, someone said, I don't remember what somebody said.
I replied something crazy. I think I replied like a copy paste of what that guy said.
It was, okay. There were people in for those that need context, I think I talked about it in an earlier episode too. I posted when Chainsaw Man was airing, this girl on TikTok posted a video saying, oh my god, the chemistry's there. It's such a cute couple, X, Y, and Z, right? Obviously, I've read the manga and I can see.
You know more.
I know a little more about the relationship between Aki and the Angel Devil. And I understand what their dynamic is. But at no point was I like, oh yeah, they could be a little. I just thought it was weird. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was, just not something I could see. And even in my tweet, I said, are people actually shipping these two? Not to say it was wrong, not to say I didn't agree with it. I just said, are people actually, is this a thing that people are talking about?
Sure.
Because I was curious. I was genuinely curious. Because literally I'd scrolled through TikTok. It was like, I saw that video and saved it. The next like 3 videos I scrolled to were either videos of that same interaction when like the Angel hands Aki the handkerchief. Remember that part?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That scene, right? Like 2 videos of that scene, and then there was like 2 more videos with fan art of them together as a ship, and I was like, is that a real thing that people are talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And people in my comments talking about some, so you don't agree with the Aki and Angel ship, but you're okay with Makima grooming Denji, who's a child. No.
It's like that. I never said that.
I never said that. That's a whole other conversation that you just brought up.
It's just a point in the show,
which I don't agree with. Like, I don't understand what the issue is.
Oh, it's like, okay, so bad guy does bad thing, but that's not good. But you agree with bad guy?
like be for real. Like like I think Makima is obviously a mysterious character who has this kind of like antagonist vibe to her, and you can obviously tell she's manipulating Denji.
Yeah.
So at no point did I say, "Oh my god, that's my ship is Aki and my ship is
Denji
Makima
and Makima.
and Denji." That's not my no.
Also, this show doesn't warrant ships. Like the whole vibe of the show, yes, Denji is horny and he's trying to get with people. But it's not even like a show where it's like, oh, like, again, to go back to My Hero, there's no Deku Ochako. It's like, there's so much more going on in the show that, like, how do you have the time to think about who's gonna get with who?
Yeah, and if you really want to break down just romantic interest in you brought up a good point. We want to bring up like romantic interest in Chainsaw Man. Is it Himiko? His name? It's Himiko, right? Himeno. And Aki, right? That's the only real like relationship you truly see that you could say that's a ship in the show. Right?
And for spoiler reasons, that shit gets cut quick.
Immediately. Because of the overall theme of the show that,
yes,
working as a profession as a devil hunter, having love interest or being involved with somebody is not going to work, because at some point in time some things are going to happen. Something's going to happen. You can't, what I'm saying? You're risking your life out there, essentially. So
who's the mangaka? Fujimoto? No,
Fujimoto, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think Fujimoto has the time to get. I think that's kind of what Denji's a parody of. Yeah, Denji is kind of a pig, but he's a better written character than someone like Meliodas, because Denji's making fun of Meliodas, I think.
I think Denji is literally I think he's a subversion of usual MCs in Shonen, because his motivations are very shallow.
Yeah.
And they're more self-serving, if anything.
Bro, because again, I can rip on this show so much. Meliodas is a perv, but he's played off as this big like hero.
Yeah.
Denji's a big perv, and that's what he is.
Yeah, because he's like 14?
Yeah, and it's everyone knows, like, okay, this guy is obviously not a hero. Like, bro, he almost tossed a guy into a bad guy.
It's just,
and then he was like, I can't grab that car, it's full of women.
Yeah, exactly. It's just just going back to like the mini rant, right? Like, cool out on the internet. I just think, the biggest thing for me is if you don't like the tweet, or if you don't agree with somebody says, right? If it's not anything super egregious or wild and out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? If it's of that kind of air, that kind of aura, block him. Keep going. Yeah. If it's just a bad anime take that's just kind of you don't agree with it, or you think it's dumb, just scroll past it.
Yeah, you don't have to respond to everything.
Right, like I don't think the Ukiura and Orihime ship is a thing. I think it's kind of weird. But when I saw my mutual tweeted, I was like, I don't agree with it, and just kept about my day. I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I didn't want to engage with it. I didn't agree. Didn't care.
You ever notice all the people who reply to argue have like 27 followers?
Oh my god!
Like,
it's like,
who are you tweeting to?
It's just like, I don't know. Like, it's like, are you okay? Is everything good at home? Are you getting the amount of dopamine that you need every day?
Yeah, man.
From people outside of the phone that you currently own. You know what I'm saying? But I guess, like, speaking on ships in that regard, when it comes to Bleach, just my own personal take, just because I don't get to talk about that much, I think I do agree that the Ichigo and Orihime ship is kind of obviously obviously the end goal. Like that was gonna happen regardless, just how the story was going. But in a sense too, though, Ichigo treated her more like a friend or somebody he's a close friend than somebody he had a romantic interest for. The only person that really showed any kind of romantic interest in somebody, and it was one-sided both times. It was Orihime with Ichigo, and it's Uryu with Orihime. You see what I'm saying?
Is she just in the story to be the love interest?
No, and I hate that the anime does that to her. The anime just does her so bad. Like she's way better in She's way better in the manga as a character in her own right. She just looks better instead of her being the damsel that yells Ichigo's name 30,000 times an episode. She actually has stuff that she talks about. The anime kind of ruined her for a lot of people.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, it's like everything was kind of one-sided. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's this might be the wrong comparison, but it kind of reminds me of Harry Potter in a way. That love triangle where it was Hermione was kind of into Harry was kind of like whatever, and Ron was just there. It's the same thing.
Oh god,
it's the same thing.
As I get older, I like Harry Potter for the most part. It's fine. But when you really get into the nitty gritty, it is so fucking stupid. The magic is cool, and the evil and the kid that the child who survived, that's all cool. But Quidditch is a nerd's vision of what sports is. And none of the romance is ever earned. Ever.
Nope.
Why is Harry with Ginny? I mean, maybe I have to see them again, but I just don't remember them ever talking until they do, and then he likes her.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so like you kind of figured that would be like Orihime and Ichigo would be the main duo. Like you see it, like even in their
she's quirky bread girl.
Yeah, and in their like promo art and cover arts and other random like drawings that Kubo makes, you can see like that they have like the chemistry or whatever. But Ichigo is not necessarily concerned about love interests throughout the entirety of the show and of the story in general. He's kind of been on the same path the entire time, like just making sure the people that he cares about the most are safe. That's literally it. That's all he cares about.
Do you think it's because Kubo's favorite is Orihime? Because anytime that drawing of all the women in bikinis,
oh yeah,
she is front and center.
It's like her and Nell every time.
And their bathing suits are like the skimpiest. Oh, Nell's the blue hair girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another one that is front and center every single time.
I guess so. I don't know. That's just.
You think it's just Kubo drew her and was like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think he, like mangaka's art styles develop over time.
Yeah,
and she definitely he definitely added some stuff to her on the back end of the story. Dang it, he hit my mic. On the back end of the story. He definitely added a lot to her. But I don't know. That's just
doesn't he make multiple bathing suit drawings like yearly?
Like I think he continues to draw the characters in general, and I think like he's very good at just drawing characters in different fashion and different outfits and stuff.
I have seen like ones where they're all dripped out. like Chad is dripped out and shit. Like I've seen that.
Yeah,
but I remember, I think recently there was one of Nell, and the caption was, in this interview, Kubo said, "This is the best bathing suit I've ever drawn."
That is a man that knows what he likes. I'll tell you that much. That is nuts. But yeah, like, I guess to wrap the rant up, just chill out how you talk to people online. If you don't like what's being said, just scroll past it. Unless you can disagree in a way that creates some kind of a dialogue.
Yeah.
Or some kind of conversation.
A discussion, not an argument.
Yeah, because there are people in the comments, besides the ones that were calling her out of her name, which is crazy. There are people in the comments that were actively like, hey, I don't agree with this shit because of X, Y, and Z. Like, and then the response was, oh, I never looked at it that way.
Mm.
And there you have it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's that easy. Like, for me, I don't have too much knowledge on ships or too invested in ships in general to reply in a way that has that kind of conversation. It would just, you know what I'm saying? I just scroll past it because I don't really agree with it, so it's no big deal. But yeah, like, just, you ship whoever you want, even then, like, even the shipping and stuff. Last thing I'm gonna say, some of the characters that people ship or simp for is kind of wild to me, because, and mangakas and people in general just have a habit of making villains hot. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are just some that I'm just like, hey, I can see why you like that person, cool, whatever. People simping for Dabi, he's just evil. He's just an evil person, whatever. People simping for Ghetto is a little, because he's just evil, but also that man somewhat actively promoted genocide of people that don't have cursed energy. You see what I'm saying? And then there was this random one where I saw somebody talking about a character that not going to show up until JJK gets its inevitable third season.
Uh-huh.
And this character, Naoya, I'll say his name's Naoya, right? He's part of the Zenin clan. I'm not going to explain the context behind him, but this man has a PhD in misogyny. Like, he makes Red Pill and Andrew Tate people look like 14-year-olds.
Oh Lord.
And people are like, oh my God, he's so hot. I understand he's a fictional character, but that's insane.
That's insane.
That's insane. That's insane. If people were talking about him and Maki, because I'm not going to give context, but him and Maki, they have some chemistry. What?
No.
Are we serious? No, it's like, are we serious? But yeah, that's the last thing I'm gonna say. I just think it's kind of just, ship whatever if you like a certain character or whatever. It's just like,
dude, honestly, it's just because girls like assholes. It's because nice guys always finish last.
Oh my God, bro, that's so funny. So yeah, that's, we've been ranting for a while. You got any music you want to share to the people?
Have you heard the OG version of Star Room?
Yes,
by Mac.
It's very good.
It's very good. I'm in my yearly Mac Miller era.
It's honestly insane how that movie is 10 years old. That album is 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. Watch movies with the sound off. Yeah, I guess listen to that again. But also 2D by Healy, Healy.
Yeah,
he's dropping more again.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
What? Well, I talked to you about this. The Dev Lemons, the Delusional EP. Yes. Pretty solid. I like that. Yes. Nightstand is a song that I come back to all the time. I love it. Literally, before we started recording, TikTok sometimes, it's hit or miss, sometimes has some good songs that pop up.
Sometimes, yeah.
This song called Mimi's Delivery Service by Good Kid.
Oh, you tweeted it.
Yeah, I tweeted this earlier before we started recording. It's an alternative song. It's definitely up like your alley in terms of like overall sound.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was phenomenal. And you know, the thing about TikTok where they play like a small snip of a song to go with like the clip they're playing or whatever, and it's always like the best clip, but you never hear like the rest of the, like you always hear like the 15 seconds, but you never hear the other 2 minutes and 45.
Mm.
I do think this is a great song. That 15 seconds is great, but the rest of the song was really good. So sure. I think that song, Mimi's Delivery Service, and then the EP itself, Good Kid 3. I started listening to before we started recording, and I like the rest of the EP as well. So definitely go check that out as well.
Dude, I think Good Kid, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same band that like met up with Connor from Trash Taste.
Yeah.
And all their music is free to use. Like copyright free.
Really?
I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how he makes money off of that though. Huh, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely check those songs out. I know we talked for, it's been a minute since we've had a hour 30 plus podcast episode. But you know, we had a lot to talk about. You know, some stuff.
I noticed that I go on tangents a lot. I mean, we ramble.
We both do. I think that's just I guess that's just like the theme for this podcast is we start on something and it end up going somewhere else. But what we end up talking about though will always be on topic though. It's not like we stray and talk about something completely random. It has something to do with what we're talking about.
It hit me when I started talking about Harry Potter and you were like, to go back to Bleach, and I was like, oh fuck, we were talking about Bleach.
It still made sense though. It still added to what we were talking about. It was, but yeah. But yeah, so next time we come on, I think we'll probably talk about the new anime season that's coming for summer. I'm very excited about the shows that are coming out then. Hopefully we can get Kay onto the podcast as a guest hopefully soon. So yeah, that's been everything. I've been Nostalgia, Astro by Zoe. See you guys next time. Peace.